What up, guys? Welcome to the Ball Don't Lie podcast. I hope you're enjoying your time. I hope you enjoyed the last episode I just dropped about the whole Lakers situation. If y'all want to check that out, go ahead and click on the link. Man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. The whole situation that's going in D.C. I'll break that stuff down to you. Stay tuned. Kick it with us the next 15, 20 minutes. Man, it's going to be a lit show. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, like, all the good stuff. I'm here. Leave a comment if you will. I always respond back, man. Until then, man, hey, man, drop the intro.
Running all my life, sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. Look.
What up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Ball Don't Lie podcast. This is your boy Dexter, your host, the one and only. Welcome back to another show. I hope y'all enjoyed the last episode that is dropping the Lakers. There's more to get into about the whole situation, but I will continue that story because it's an ongoing fluid situation that's going on in La La Land. So I hope y'all enjoy that whole entire episode. If you haven't seen it, hey man, you can go ahead and click on YouTube, IGTV, the videos are there, all the links are in the video. As far as streaming options, audio route, etc. Man, hey, if you haven't enjoyed the NBA season so far, I'm not sure what's going on. Because, it's lit. I'm enjoying it. Right now, you have teams jockeying, fighting for positions. The East is pretty close. So that playing tournament is going to be real for people out in the East, for sure. And in the West, yeah, obviously we know who the top hitters are. The Warriors and the Suns are jockeying for position. The first seed is going back and forth. But the team that is surprising is the Memphis Grizzlies. And I will definitely give an episode about them in the coming days. So stay tuned on that. And before we kind of get into anything about what I'm about to drop right now, and it's pretty crazy what's going on. Before we can get into that, if you are new to this channel, go ahead and subscribe. You can hit that thumbs up button right there, that like button, the bell notification. Every time I drop a video, the videos will hit your phones and your laptops, all those alerts, all that good stuff. And if you're on the streaming options, if you want to listen on the audio route, we're on iHeart, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on every single thing out there. Podcast Beam, you can name it. We're on there. And all all the social media links is in there. I'm on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. As you can see in the bottom of the video, I'm on all that at Ball Don't Lie. And definitely the links are in there as well. So let's just go ahead and, it's pretty crazy. Let's just go ahead and talk about this because I was going to drop an episode about Klay Thompson, but I have that in the works right now. So stay tuned. That's going to be coming out as well. So Memphis and Klay Day, I guess, will be something that's going to be on my radar for the next couple of days. So stay tuned. But the situation that's going on right now is kind of interesting because I wasn't really about to speak about this at all. I was going to leave that on Twitter. But I actually got to talk about this. And this is about what happened in D.C. with the Wizards when they're playing against the Magic, I believe, who they just barely beat, I believe. But before that, Montrezl Harrell and KCP supposedly got into a physical altercation. And I've been scrubbing and digging all over the internet, on Twitter, on IG, on people's social media accounts, trying to find some type of video that can actually show, shed a light on the whole situation. But I couldn't find nothing besides this video I'm about to play for you right now. So but I'm going to go ahead and play it. You guys can check this out in a second. I'm going to play from the beginning. So as you can see, right, so KCP gets the ball and launches it from half court. You can see Montrezl Harrell right there just was upset about the whole situation. He wanted the ball. That's what reports are coming out in D.C. that there's enough time for him to get the ball and at least try it. He was wide open, I guess. And as you can see Kuzma walking to the tunnel, you can see Harrell said something to KCP who just bent over, and then KCP said something to him, which obviously led into those guys to go back and forth. And when they're going back and forth, they're going at it as far as like a little argument that obviously led to some type of physical altercation. Supposedly, this is what the report is saying. The report is saying that there was punches thrown. And the crazy thing about it, these guys obviously talk about a lot of big game, about who's tough and this and that. And I'll play a clip for you about Montrezl Harrell, what he said recently about he's about that life. Obviously, nothing. All the punches were thrown, but nothing connected. And obviously, we know why, because these guys are not trained fighters. These guys are not MMA fighters. These guys are not, who they think about that real life, quote unquote. But it is disturbing, because last time I actually heard about a teammate and a fisticuff happened was between the Bulls, I believe. That was a couple years back with Bobby Portis. And obviously we know what happened with Bobby Portis. They kept him. The other guy got shipped out of town. Obviously he didn't stay there long term either. He went to the Milwaukee Bucks, I believe. So, and he won a championship there. So it's kind of just, and I get why the frustration happened. KCP is thinking in his head like he has a better shot just dribbling the ball and jacking it up from half court. And it's a low probability him making it, but he had two guys on him. And Montrezl Harrell felt some type of way like, hey, like I'm closer to the basket given to me, and I got a better shot of probably hitting that probability. But either way, both of them are not really going to be making those half-court shots or that wherever Montrezl Harrell was in the video. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't get why it led to a point. I just know Montrezl Harrell is a type of guy that doesn't back down from nobody. He doesn't bite the tongue. He doesn't, he challenges everybody. Obviously, KCP is not the star of the team, so I get if he was yapping it to Bradley Beal or he played in the Lakers and was talking that junk to LeBron James, or even when he had his stint with the Clippers and even he had his stint with the Rockets with James Harden. He ain't talking James Harden. He ain't talking to Kawhi and PG like that. He's not going to be talking to LeBron James. He's not talking to AD or even Bradley Beal for, as far as a Wizard. So it's a head scratcher in a sense, but at the same time, it's not worth even fighting over. It's more of a strange situation that just happened. Like I know these things happen in the locker rooms. People do get physical with each other. To actually talk about it, it's actually more of a shed to the whole situation. They shed a light to the whole situation. Players do get into physical altercations either in practice or even in the game. Not in the game in a sense, but like in the locker room. There's stories that's been told and has been had that players do usually get into. And obviously the latest one that everyone's in their mind lately was when Draymond Green, called KD out his name and said some things that was not pleasant by Kevin Durant. Like, these things do happen, but to have a fisticuff in a sense, and these guys are not connecting at all, I mean, it is funny in a sense, right? I mean, I got to admit there, like, if you're going to thug it out, like Montrezl is about that life, it's pretty hilarious. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video about Montrezl here. What he said just recently about Joel Embiid, and if now you fast forward in hindsight, you have this whole situation in the tunnel in the locker room, and him and KCP got into it. So go ahead and play that video for me one time.
Stand on your toughness, bro. If you're so tough and you're so, stand on that, my dude. Don't start, nitpicking and pointing and want to do the telling when the ref walk in, my guy. Stand on that. Because as you see, I am. I got tossed. I mean, it is what it is. I wish it wouldn't have been in the situation that it was in, but I don't regret it. I don't want to take it back. It is what it is, bro. And I'm not going to change how I play for nobody, man. I'm not going to back down for nobody, man. I don't care about none of that roo-rah talking and all that, man. It's talk. It's talk. Simple as that.
Yeah, man. Montrezl Harrell right there. It's just funny because, like, I know there's tough guys in the league that really does back up what they're saying. Montrezl is one of those guys that's really up there as far as doesn't back down from nobody. But obviously,
You mad, bro? You mad, bro?
obviously he was mad about something that KCP said to him. So, like, if standing on your toes, like he said, standing on your toes. If you're that guy, be that guy, my dude. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. That was Joel Embiid's situation. This might be a little bit different, but going forward, you can kind of understand like what the buildup was. And I'll tell you what it was. The Wizards coming into the season, trading Russ, right? And you're getting all these compartments from the Lakers. You're getting KCP, you're getting Kyle Kuzma, you're getting Montrezl Harrell, or Trez is what they call him. And you added around Bradley Beal. You got Spencer Dinwiddie that signed over in the offseason as well from the Brooklyn Nets. So you have a good functioning 5, 6, 7 players on your roster. And you come out the gates like blazing. I mean, they were sizzling hot. Right? It makes sense to me why I think what happened was just a boiling point. Probably to Montrezl's situation because he's more outspoken. He's more about that guy. He's more about like, yeah, I'm going to tell you how I really feel. KCP is not that guy. KCP doesn't have a track record of putting hands on anybody or talking that junk, right? So they came out the gates in the beginning of the season, was killing, was one of the best teams in the league. I believe they were the number 1 seed in the East in the beginning of the year at some point. And I thought that, hey, they're playing pretty good. And then we seen Kyle Kuzma come out his shell. Like Kyle Kuzma, we thought he was in college. Now, obviously, obviously he was in the Lakers and he's kind of overshadowed because of star power that was there. There's other people that played in the same position as him. But now he's over here being his guy. He's in his role. He's getting his mojo. I think he just had a career high, 22 rebounds. And I think he had 20 points in that same game. And we seen Kyle Kuzma hitting tough shots and, game winners or buzzer beaters in a sense. So we seen like the Wizards, kind of coming to fruition, coming to form. And then all of a sudden, like the wheels just fell off sometime in December. I don't know what hit them. Obviously, we know COVID was part of the reason why players were out of the rotation. Players are out. Like right now, Bradley Beal, and I think today's what? This is January 9th, I believe, not 9th, January 12th, and Bradley Beal's out because of COVID, and health and safety protocols. So players are just in and out. Montrezl Harrell just came back. So, and now if you look at the last slate of games, the last 10 games they played, they're 50-50. Like they won 5 games, lost 5 games. If you look at the 10 games before that, they won 3 games out of 7. 3 games out of 10. So if you combine that, right, the last 10 games, they only won 5. And then the 10 games before that, they only won 3. So if you combine that, that's what? That's 8 games, and they lost 12. So then obviously they're in the losing streak. They're, I think, 1 game by 500 right now. But if you look at the teams right behind them, you got the Hawks, you got you have the Celtics are in hunt as well, and they're only a couple games behind. Within the 8 seed to the 10 seed, I believe, or 11 seed, it's 4 games. 4 games. And we're playing a full season this year. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Wizards going forward. Obviously, what I heard, after this altercation, that the Wizards added more security around, the locker room situation, added more security to the bench. But obviously, those guys came back into the second half. This is at halftime. So they came back in the second half. Obviously, they played, on the court with each other, closed out the Magics, won that game. I don't know if it's going to be bygones. Both of them did not speak to the media about the situation, but this will be talked about for sure because the media definitely will be asking this. I don't know how they're going to address it. Obviously, they're going to cool down, let them, cool off for a little bit and maybe come back tomorrow. In the media, they might just address and say, hey, look, man, it is what it is. We just got into it. We shook hands. We hug it out after the game. We're good. Moving forward. It's not a story. It's something across those lines because obviously they're not going to say, yeah, forget you, man. Not to the media at least, right? So obviously this is something I'll be definitely watching because Montrezl Harrell was talked about, was discussed about not, as far as being traded or in a trade discussion. So we'll see what happens. I would keep Montrezl Harrell. You have a center named Bryant. Obviously, we don't know what his situation is. If he hasn't really fully recovered from an ACL, I believe, from last season. But obviously, Bryant is more of a suitable, better center for that system. He's a stretch 5. He can bang a little bit, can rebound here and there. He's a little more thick and a little bigger than Montrezl Harrell. Pause on the situation about the thick thing, but going forward, I don't know. Trez has been talked about in trade discussions, and it's sad because the dude's pretty good. He brings energy to the team. He's a 6-man kind of caliber kind of player. And if I was the Wizards, I don't know what you can get better than Montrezl Harrell because obviously we're not asking for a superstar. Montrezl is a backup center, backup forward, bench player, at most. Can be a starting guy. So, obviously this is not for me to break down as far as what he is. I just know that going forward, this can be a little of something to probably keep an eye on. But I'm pretty sure they can probably just water it down and say, hey, you know what? It's nothing big going down in D.C. But it's going to be interesting to see what's going forward. So I'm going to definitely keep my eye on the whole Wizards situation, not because of Montrezl and KCP. I like how they play. And I really think that, they have a shot to make the tournament for sure. And then obviously make the playoff. They get in the 8 seed. But still, if you're from the 7 seed to the 10 seed on either the conference, either the East or in the West, right, you're going to be in a playoff tournament. Or they call it play-in tournament. So you're only guaranteed to be out of that if you're between 1 and 7. I'm sorry, my bad. I run that back. 1 and 6. So 7 seed to the 10 seed, right? they'll be playing for that. So hey, I hope the Wizards, can play, because I know they can cause some havoc down the road. Hopefully they pick things up. Right now they're struggling right now as it is. They got a losing record in the last month or so. But hopefully they do. We'll see what happens. Until then, hey man, I got an episode coming about the whole Clay situation, the Warriors. I got the Memphis man, John Morant. If you haven't seen John Morant's block, it's probably one of those iconic blocks that we have seen in a long time. It's up there with LeBron James blocking Iguodala in the NBA Finals in Game 7. It's up there with Michael Jordan when Ron Mercer, I think, stole the ball from somebody, or was it Jordan or not? And then Jordan chased him down. And this is when Ron Mercer was playing on the Bulls, and Michael Jordan was playing for the Wizards. And then Michael Jordan on the glass with 2 hands. So that John Morant block is definitely up there, man. That dude has a freaking nature. He's a freaking nature. The dude got crazy bounce on, like LeBron James said. The dude got some rocket in his calf. That guy got bounced. But besides that, John Morant's been playing great. They just beat the Warriors. They just beat the Warriors right now, and the Warriors are almost fully healthy. I mean, they had all the players back besides Draymond, and I get he's still injured, the whole calf situation, but that's something to be monitoring pretty soon. Other than that, man, hey, you never know what's gonna happen in a situation like this, man. If like I said, if you're new to this channel, go ahead and subscribe. If you've been watching this so far, go ahead and like it, leave a comment, all that good stuff, man. Until then, y'all be safe out there with COVID situation. I'll be dropping a video pretty soon. Holla.